Well, I think it's safe to say that 2025 has been a crazy year for tech. First things first, the prices of almost anything that has to do with tech, those went up, especially RAM. And now the whole RAM shortage and price increase was entirely due to AI, of course, with Sam Altman, making a massive order of RAM, which basically disrupted the whole entire RAM industry, which was pretty bad, right? Like the whole RAM shortage thing happened. Also, like prices for a lot of other stuff went up too, especially with tariffs and global supply chain issues and geopolitical stuff, right? The iPhone 17 came out, it switched to aluminum, and basically it looks slightly different now, which it's the two major things with the iPhone 17. Nvidia has become like absolutely essential to the global economy, as AI is the only thing that is preventing the economy from a recession, which is also not really that good. And Google is actually winning the AI war now, which is weird because 2025 was supposed to be a really bad year for Google, as search was becoming outdated. But it turns out Google has all of the data, so they were able to, have a pretty solid control on AI now, right? It's basically Google versus OpenAI, and Google is winning right now. China has also entered the AI race with a really cheap and fast DeepSeek model. DeepSeek has basically took the open source AI stuff by storm. If you really want to run AI locally, the choices are either Llama or DeepSeek. And DeepSeek, to train DeepSeek, it didn't take as many resources at all, right? It costed like a few $1 million, not even, while a lot of these other companies are spending a lot of more money on training their own AIs. So that was a major thing. And we just had a lot of lackluster device launches as well. So yeah, that's basically what it has been for 2025. And also Nvidia is worth $5 trillion right now, and it is the most valuable company on earth, surpassing Apple and Microsoft by a lot. Now we're reaching into 2026. There's a lot of uncertainty, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be another crazy year, if not a crazier year. So let's just, separate this into two things: the bad things and the good things that is going to happen in 2026. My personal prediction. Now, for some of the bad stuff, China has a chance to blockade Taiwan. Now, I'm not saying this will happen. My knowledge of geopolitics is very little, but I've heard a lot of stuff saying that this is definitely a possibility in 2026. And if it does, it's not only going to be horrible for Taiwan, but horrible for the rest of the world. If it does, there's going to be a massive tech crisis, right? Because TSMC, which is basically the thing that manufactures most of the chips being, made right now, is in Taiwan. It's one company which our entire infrastructure relies on. And it's a foreign company in Taiwan, right? And if China invades Taiwan, all these chips are not going to be able to make it out into the rest of the world, which absolutely sucks because our entire AI, everything, is dependent on TSMC, this one company, especially with Nvidia. Nvidia is entirely dependent on TSMC, because if TSMC goes, then Nvidia goes, and if Nvidia goes, the AI bubble pops, and it's going to be a disaster. Also, if this actually does happen, the prices of almost everything tech related will skyrocket by a lot. A lot. Like 3 times or 4 times or even more than that, because of how integral Taiwan is to tech. And it would be horrible for the economy. It might even be worse than something like 2008 or 2000. So if Taiwan gets blockaded, it's just gonna destroy a lot of the technical progress we've made and a lot of some of the other stuff, right? The prices of RAM are most likely going to increase by a lot too. RAM prices, if you think they're bad now, they'll continue to increase as companies struggle to adapt to AI. and this new future. We don't have enough resources for AI, and we definitely do not have enough RAM, which is something that will be a major problem in 2026. So yeah, RAM prices will continue to skyrocket. They're not going to get much better until 2027. And the consumer, so you guys, will suffer a lot due to RAM shortage. I don't expect many people to be building computers right now or building PCs, which is very sad because, you know, PC gaming, it's amazing. So a lot of people won't be able to do all PC gaming or use a PC due to the RAM shortage and because everything is infinitely more expensive. AI will also be taking a lot more jobs as well. So you're gonna see probably more programmer layoffs and stuff as companies want to use more AI. So yeah, if you're any job except for an AI engineer, I feel sorry for you. So things will also get more expensive, other things, right? Like Nvidia is gonna exit the market, and well, it's not going to completely exit the market, but they're going to be dropping consumer GPU production by 40%, which is a lot. So prices for almost everything are going to become way higher, you know, and stuff like RAM shortages, GPU shortages, a lot of more computer hardware shortages due to tariffs and due to AI will definitely be hitting your wallet, so expect that. But anyways, that's the bad stuff. Let's be more optimistic and go into the good stuff. Yay! I really don't think the AI bubble will pop yet. Because, you know, there's a lot of hype and still a lot of money that's going into AI. So unless China invades Taiwan, then I don't expect it to pop just quite yet. Which is, I know some people really want it to pop, but trust me, you don't want it to pop. A lot of people are going to get laid off. It's not going to be good. AI will also become more consolidated into certain industries. It won't be in absolutely everything anymore. It'll be in like a few things, and it's going to function really well for those few things, right? Kind of like how the internet, you know, the entire universe isn't running on the internet, but the internet or computers in general have found their specific niche. They've found like it's still in absolutely everything, but it's not as much as some of the people in the early 2000s were hoping for, right? Same thing for cloud computing. You know, cloud computing is massive, especially AWS and other stuff for startups and a lot of other stuff, right? It's on absolutely everything. We still have physical computers, of course, but you know, it itself found its own niche. So I think that AI itself will find its own niche. It'll probably still be really big, but you know, some of the hype will be lessened on it. So I don't think that the AI bubble might pop. It might just, you know, deflate slightly. Another good thing is indie games. Yeah, indie games are going to pop off even more this year, especially due to, just a lot of these major indie game studios and a lot of these major other indie games that are going to be releasing soon, because indie games have basically been fighting against AAA for a while, and it's a battle that indie games are winning. We see like stuff like Silksong, Clair Obscur 33, all of that stuff just dominating the market right now, destroying any AAA game. Now, of course, GTA 6 is going to be releasing in 2026, if it does get delayed again. So that might steal a tiny bit of market share away from indie games, but indie games are still going to be absolutely massive, absolutely huge, and that's going to be amazing for the consumer. And Valve will just keep on winning with the Steam Deck and the Steam Machine that are releasing soon, which is going to disrupt the like really bad console market right now, you know? Like the console market, it's between PlayStation and Xbox, and people are saying that Xbox is losing. No, the real loser of the console wars is the consumer, because the consumer has two choices, three, Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation, and they're all super expensive and really not worth it. However, the Steam Machine is promising to be, not budget, but like certainly like good deal, probably, right? So, and it'll probably encourage more competition, especially in the console space, which is very, very good. Renewable energy will also be super big, and because of, AI and stuff. You can't keep using one thing forever. You can't keep relying on fossil fuels when it comes to AI, especially in the energy needs. So I think that a lot of the industry will divert to nuclear, which is great because nuclear energy is awesome. So because of AI, and also Apple will have a major phone redesign, which I predict will happen this year because it's due for a redesign, and redesign is always good because it encourages more variation of what you can buy and stuff. So it'll be great. So yeah, I think 2026 is going to be a crazy year for tech, and AI is going to become exponentially more huge. And yeah, that's basically it. Bye.